Buddy, my name is Dr. Deanna Minnick, and I'm a teaching clinician at the Functional Medicine Research Center. And today I'm here to talk with you about the revolutionary new Clear Change program sponsored by Metagenics. This program has been recommended to you by your healthcare professional in order to help you reduce fatigue and increase your vitality. So before I talk specifics about the program, what I first want to talk with you about is this whole issue of toxicity. I'm sure you've heard a lot about it. There's lots of news events around the whole issue of toxins. And I would say that at present, it almost seems that the question is no longer if or whether we are toxic. The real question seems to be, how toxic are we? Of course, there are many different institutes and organizations getting heavily involved in this whole exposure to toxins, and the Center for Disease Control is one of them. Recently put out the 4th National Report on Human Exposure to Environmental Chemicals, and what they found was that most Americans had hundreds of different chemicals in their bloodstream or urine. And ask the question, well, where are these toxins coming from? How do we get exposed to all of them? And really, just about everywhere you look in your everyday life, we get exposed to toxins, whether it's through household product use, personal care products, the insecticides, pesticides, and herbicides that we find in our food, the plastics that we might encounter from water bottles and in other food products. And of course, heavy metals are rampant in our environment. And based on your physiology, you may or may not be able to take in these toxins and process them properly. A lot of that will depend on your genetics, your environmental exposure, and whether or not you have a healthy diet and lifestyle. All of those factors are going to determine whether or not those toxins are just going to flow right through your body and be excreted, or whether or not you're going to build them up in your body and have difficulty. So the question is, how do you know you need to make a change? How do you know that toxicity is impacting your health? Well, one of the first things you want to do is look for symptoms. Look at any changes that you've been having in your health over the past weeks, months, or even years. Sometimes this is just a gradual buildup. So changes in energy level, having chronic fatigue, having chronic muscle aches, having difficulty concentrating. I'd also note that you are more sensitive to certain foods or perfumes or odors than you have been in the past. Irritability, headache, any kind of behavioral changes you want to look for as well. And also any changes in your gastrointestinal function, things like abdominal pain. So some or all of these may denote that you have some issue with toxicity. So what can you do about it? Well, one of the first things that you can do is look to your environment. See if you can reduce the amount of chemicals that are coming into your body. So look in your home and look for the different cleaning products that you're using. Look at the water that you're drinking, making sure that it's purified. And also looking at your personal care products, reading those labels as carefully as you would a food product. When it comes to food and drink, choosing free-range, hormone-free, antibiotic-free animal products as best you can, because typically in a lot of those animal products you get a buildup of many toxins. If you eat fish, choose fresh, cold water fish in the place of farm-raised, and when possible, eat organically grown produce. And even if you are buying organically grown produce, make sure that you wash it really well before you eat it, you peel it, or you cook it. The Environmental Working Group has put out a wonderful list of what they call the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. The Dirty Dozen is a list of foods that tend to be higher in pesticide residues. And those are things like celery, peaches, strawberries, apples, blueberries, nectarines, bell peppers, spinach, cherries, kale, collard greens, potatoes, and imported grapes. So these are foods that I would recommend that you do buy organic. There are some foods that are lower in pesticides. These tend to be okay to eat conventionally grown. Things like onions and avocados, sweet corn, pineapple, mangoes, sweet peas, asparagus, kiwi, cabbage, eggplant, cantaloupe, watermelon, grapefruit, sweet potato, honeydew, and melon. And if you notice, a number of these things have thicker skins. So what I tell patients is if you're not eating the skin, then these foods might be safer to get conventionally grown versus organically grown. Once you've controlled for the toxins in your environment, what else can you do? What we know at Metagenics is that metabolic detoxification is a very scientifically based process that requires a balancing act on the part of your physiology. What you want to do is normalize the body's ability to process and excrete these toxins while you try to reduce as best you can the amount of incoming toxins. So it's like a balancing act, looking at what is coming in versus what is going out. We also know from the science on metabolic detoxification is that it's an energy-dependent process. So what does that mean? That means that your body needs calories and nutrition in order to fuel those processes. So looking at the different nutrients, vitamins, and herbs in order to balance and support these body detoxification pathways, that is essential. The liver is really the hub of the body's detoxification process. Much of what comes into the body is filtered through the liver. So in order to help the liver to process these toxins efficiently, we need to give the liver the proper vitamins, minerals, and amino acids. Amino acids come from proteins in order to work properly. There are many different programs on the market to help people cleanse, and if you look closer at what they promote, many times it's juicing or fasting, and based on what we know about the science of metabolic detoxification, we would not advocate that as a proper approach for really helping to optimize the body organs involved in detoxification. What Clear Change program does is definitely optimizes the different organ systems with respect to detoxification through nutrition. And it also helps to support with heavy metal removal. Our scientists at the Metaproteomics Laboratory have done significant research to find out what are the nutrients that help the body to metabolize heavy metals efficiently. And we've incorporated that science into this cutting-edge program. Clear Change difference is that this program supports all of the systems that are involved in metabolic detoxification. And it's based on years and years of not just the scientific research that we really blazed the trail on, but also our clinical experience at the Functional Medicine Research Center. This program has been utilized by thousands of different healthcare practitioners and all of their patients for more than 20 years. So know that this program is tried and true, it's safe, and most of all, it's effective. Benefits to you will be that you're going to have more energy and less fatigue. And for many people, they don't realize the cloud of the energy drain that they've been in until they start to release the layers of the tiredness that they feel. So what I've noticed working with patients is that after that first 7 to 10 days, you're going to feel like a renewed person. You're going to feel like you got your life back. You've got the energy to do the things that you want to do in life. Many patients report feeling less foggy-headed. They start to remember names and faces. Their memory comes back. Their thinking is much more sharp, and they don't have that sense of brain fog that they went into before they started the program with. So the patients report feeling less dependent on certain substances to get them through the day, things like coffee or things like sugar. Again, that 7 to 10 days into the program is where you start to see that shift in your taste palette, where you don't tend to crave as much in the way of these foods to help keep you energized. Also note potentially some less water retention. Your body compartments will start to normalize. And for those of you that are interested in losing weight, you may start to see a shift in the amount of weight in your body. This program is not geared for weight loss, but what we know about science is that once we start to move these toxins out of the body, you start to reduce inflammation and you start to pave the way for normal metabolic processes, which oftentimes lead to healthy body composition and weight loss. You're probably thinking, well, how do you get started? What are the elements of the program? First thing that you need to do is to fill out the questionnaire. It's a very simple questionnaire scanning all of the different body systems. And if you score 9 or under in any section and under 50, when you take the total, you're thought to have mild symptoms. So possibly you're not as impacted by toxicity. However, if you score over 9 in any of these different body systems, or have greater than 50 as the grand total, your healthcare practitioner may say that you have more severe symptoms and may have a greater toxin burden. It is your healthcare practitioner that is going to choose the duration of your program for you. If you have mild symptoms based on the questionnaire, you might be assigned to the 10-day program. If you have more severe symptoms, you might be on a longer program, a 28-day program. In order to get started, and it doesn't matter if you're on the shorter or the longer program, there are 3 simple steps that are built into both of those programs. The first step is the initial clearing. What I recommend to patients is making sure that you're physically ready, mentally ready, and emotionally prepared to venture into this metabolic detoxification. Making sure that you go to the grocery store, get the foods that you need that are on the program, that they are readily accessible, and also starting to eliminate certain foods from the diet while you start to increase your nutritional supplementation. You will be provided with a number of different products that are part of the Clear Change program to already help you to jumpstart the optimization process of detoxification in your body. Now, if you're not accustomed to eating things like fruits and vegetables, what you might want to do is to slowly increase the amount of these foods into your diet. You might not be used to so much fiber, and your gastrointestinal tract may need to get acclimated to these different foods. So I would say is definitely start slow. In fact, we recommend starting the program on a Monday, especially if you work through the week, Monday through Friday. If you are start on a Monday, then chances are you will have the weekend in order to really get through the more difficult days of the program, which tend to be days 5 to 7. So start on a Monday, you'll have the weekend to relax and get adequate rest to support your body. You definitely want to be sure that you allow your body enough of the rest and relaxation that you need in order to feel better as you go through this and to be supportive of these different processes. Step 2, during this phase, this is where you really start to ramp up detoxification in your body. And as a result of that, you will only be eating from a select variety of certain foods that are on the program. So we will give you a larger list when you first enter into the step 1 of the program. And then from that list, you get a much more narrowed list of things to eat and to focus on for certain days. While you do that, you will also be increasing the amount of the medical food that will be provided to you by your healthcare practitioner. You will have nutrition coming to you from these very specific sources. Now, it's also important to eat as much as you would like from the different food groups during this program. On our website, we offer some recipes that are tried and true by the many patients that have come into our research center. And also we offer recipe tips in the patient guidebook as well as the website. So the key here is make this engaging for yourself. Make it an adventure and make sure you get some variety and that you're not falling short on the amount of food that you're eating. You definitely do not want to be hungry on this program because your body does need the nutrition in order to work its best. Step 3 is reintroduction. At this stage, you're going to be ready to slowly reintroduce foods back into your diet. And by this time, your body will, chances are, be very sensitive. In fact, I have seen that in clinical practice where people start feeling so good that when you start to put in a food into your diet that hasn't been there that you might react to, you might have a kind of a clear response as to whether or not you're sensitive to that food. Maybe it's a sense of feeling bloated after you eat. Maybe it's a skin change. Maybe it's an energy level change. Healthcare provider will walk you through the different changes that may occur when you're reactive to certain foods. Now, I also mentioned loss. Keep in mind that, again, this is not the strategy of the Clear Change program, but because through the program you're going to be experiencing greater energy, better sleep, and more likely improved digestion, all of these factors may contribute to you feeling good metabolically, which could mean shifting your body composition into more normal ranges. Some tips for success. How can you get through this program with ease and feel really good? One of the biggest things that I see is when people drink coffee on a daily basis, they have some issues with weaning the amount of caffeine from their daily life. So you need to think about that before you embark upon the program. Because if you do that at the start of the program, do everything at once, you might start to experience headaches and different types of side effects. So if you can do that before you officially start the program and start with the nutritional supplementation, that might be a very good strategy. Also, while you try to wean yourself off of coffee for about 3 to 5 days, try to get some additional hydration, making sure that what you're losing in the way of the liquid from the caffeinated beverages, that you're repleting with purified water. Another tip for success is making sure that you do not overscoop your medical food. You want to be sure that you have enough of this Metagenics beverage in order to last your entire program. So try to avoid getting too much into that scooper and making sure that it is leveled off so that you'll have just enough of the medical food to last you through the program. Another tip for success, and this is very important, and it's regular elimination, making sure that your bowels are moving, because once the liver does all that work, packaging up all the toxins, it's got to get it out of the body. It's got to get those toxins out through the bowel or through the urine. So making sure that you have good, healthy bowel movements is a must. And if you don't feel that you have good, healthy bowel movements, 1 to 2 per day, I would say to talk with your healthcare practitioner about how to facilitate that. Getting things like more fiber, getting more water could be conducive to better bowel habits. Part of that, it's also really important to make sure that you're drinking water. So water before you come into the program and throughout the program, it's essential because, again, this is one of the ways that we get these toxins out of the body. So what we recommend is drinking plenty of water, about 64 ounces a day. We also talk in our program about eating plenty of food. Don't let yourself be hungry on this program. Again, the good program is not to be restricting calories or specifically losing weight through a very rigorous program. You actually want to be very supportive of your body through nutrition. If you feel hungry, making sure that you have those foods available to you that you can eat that are on the program at all times. So making food very convenient and planning ahead are really good strategies to keep you on the program. So like for patients to keep a daily diary. So keeping a notebook in which you can put on every day the foods that you've eaten, how you felt, what were your symptoms like. This is typically very helpful for the practitioner in working with you through the program. At the end of the program, your healthcare practitioner will have you fill out that same detoxification questionnaire. You'll go through all of the different body systems, and do is compare what your score is at the end compared to the beginning, and you can see what an improvement you've made with respect to your health. You might be surprised. Many patients finish the program and they can't believe how wonderful they feel. In fact, they almost want to stay on the program because it just feels so good. And for other patients that maybe aren't as toxic, the reduction in their symptoms might be a little bit more mild, so things might be more subtle. So it's really good to have an objective questionnaire like this to help you through the process of gauging how your symptoms are. Support that you need for success will be made available to you. You'll have your simple protocol with a daily menu and recipe ideas. And again, these recipes are tried and true, things that we've used in the clinic for many decades and we know are very acceptable by patients like you. We also have online support, which will have a website with additional recipes, some frequently asked questions, and some daily tips that will be informational as well as inspirational. To complete your Clear Change program, I would advise that you speak with your healthcare practitioner about some simple, healthy, foundational health programs to help keep you feeling great. In fact, many practitioners like to implement the Clear Change program several times per year for some of their patients, especially if they tend to be more toxic or live in a more toxic environment. So talk with your practitioner about how often you need to do the Clear Change program throughout the year. And when you're not doing the Clear Change program, what is the nutritional program that you need to be following in order to optimize your health? I'd like to thank you for listening today about the Clear Change program, and I wish you health and healing on your detoxification journey. Thank you so much.